I have been thinking a lot about Emmett Till and Emmett Till's mother. And I want to explain to folks why that is. Emmett Till's 14 years old when he was brutalized, abducted, tortured in Mississippi in 1955. His mother decided, Mammy Till, to have an open casket so that the world could see what Jim Crow, white supremacy, racism, and hatred did to her son and is doing to Black children, Black people across this country. I think about Mammy Till today because what I need to happen is that I need these parents, all the parents of the victims of mass shootings, gun violence, to show the pictures. Because it is not enough anymore for us just to listen to these stories about the 10-year-old little girl at Robb Elementary School who tried to save her classmates and was shot dead for trying to call 911. And what we feel comfort in this country is referring to that little girl as a hero. And she shouldn't fucking have to be one. And so the thing that we allow to happen to us is that we see the wonderful school photos of the smiling faces of these children. But the thing that America actually needs to see is that their bodies are now unrecognizable because of how many fucking bullets tore through them. I want people to also know that, do you know what Texas did? Governor Abbott did? Robb Elementary School is 90% Latinx children. So when these parents went to go rush to the schools to see if their children were still alive, do you know who was waiting for them? ICE. So you tell me why ICE is at the scene of a massacre. Are they there to help? Were they there to aid these families? No. They were there to re-traumatize them, to re-victimize them, to place another layer of fear underneath the threat that they are already dealing with, the very idea that they said goodbye yesterday morning to their children for them never to return. America needs to see what gun violence does, what an AR-15 and 375 bullets can do to the human body. Because if more did see that, then maybe we wouldn't have Democrats like Chuck Schumer say, well, we just can't bring a vote onto the floor because Republicans won't let us. We just can't do these things because, they just won't let us legislate. They won't let us have the power that the people gave them. If you're not airing out, as Beto O'Rourke did when he marched up to the bullshit press conference that Governor Abbott was giving and said, you are doing nothing. You are doing nothing for the state of Texas. You are doing nothing for these families. And I say to you, gun owners, this is how you want to live? If you need an AR-15 and 300 rounds of bullets to take down a fucking deer, get a new hobby.
Learn to aim. Like, what are you doing?
It is absurd to me, Waj, that I can't go to my local CVS and pick up 2 boxes of Sudafed because a flag goes into the system and thinks that I may be a fucking drug dealer.
You might be making meth, Danielle.
Instead of having allergies. But This shooter was able to go and buy not one, but two AR-15s within 24 hours and 300 rounds. And not a flag.
18-year-old.
Not a flag went up. No, let me hold your ID for a second here, kiddo, and figure out what the fuck are you doing? Where are you going? An alert should automatically go to police that say, oh, why in the hell does this person need two AR-15s? But no, Constitution, Second Amendment, freedom to murder.
No, that's where we're at. Where an 18-year-old in this country has an easier time getting a weapon of mass destruction than healthcare. Where it's easier to get a weapon of mass destruction than to vote if you're black. Where it's easier to get a weapon of mass destruction than to potentially have an abortion if you were raped by a relative. That's going to happen in the summer, by the way, after they kill Roe v. Wade. Where it's easier to get a weapon of mass destruction than to even get medication. Because medications are priced so high in this country. And it is a culture of death, Danielle. It is a culture of toxic masculinity. It is a culture of white supremacy, where some men need these guns to stand their ground, to protect themselves against the invaders. People like Kyle Rittenhouse needs his gun to travel to another state, driven by his mother, where he shoots and kills two white folks at a BLM protest. And then he is heralded as what? A hero. Where Mark McCloskey is a hero because he takes out a gun illegally and points it at peaceful black protesters at a rich suburban neighborhood in St. Louis, and he is now running for Senate as a Republican. Where Ted Cruz, in order to prove that he's not Reek and an actual man, sizzles bacon on his machine gun and says, look at me, I'm a real man, but then goes to Cancun when his constituents are freezing during a preventable, freezing to death during a preventable climate change crisis because freaking Texas has its own effed up grid. And here we are with yet another mass school shooting with 19 dead kids. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, Buffalo was last week and we've forgotten about Buffalo. And what's going to happen, Danielle? You know, we're going to forget about Texas because we forgot about Parkland and we forgot about Sandy Hook. And so does this country, like, you know, I wrote this piece last night and people thought it was provocative, but I said, okay, prove to me otherwise. I said, this country hates its children, especially Republicans. Yep. And so many Republicans got so pissed off at me. And I was very logical. And I just went down the list. I said, when you're in the womb, they care about you. As soon as you're out of the womb, F yourself, kid. You're on your own. Pull yourselves up from the bootstrap. They killed COVID relief. They killed the child tax credit.
Yep.
No paid parental leave.
Yep.
No subsidized childcare. Highest maternal mortality rate in industrialized countries, right? They're dismantling the public school system. And let's look, let me give them benefit of the doubt for a second. Let's just play devil's advocate. Suppose these Republicans like Governor Abbott, who refuse to take responsibility for implementing a culture of death, really believe that mental health is the reason for these mass shootings and not the fact that we have 390 million guns for 330 million people in America. Okay. What are you doing to confront mental health, Danielle?
Would they be, I don't know, providing healthcare, voting on healthcare, expanding Medicaid, doing anything that would allow for people to be able to access the type of mental health tools that they need in this country in order to stave off said mass violence?
Nope. They want to dismantle Obamacare. And when Obama has been saying for more than 10 years, okay, replace it with what? They say nothing. So not expand Medicaid, even though they have the money for it, because they have to win the culture war. Pretty much kill women by taking away the right to privacy. Pretty much F these kids who basically can't, you know, probably won't even come to life because of the high maternal mortality rates. And as we've seen, if you stop the right to abortion, it doesn't stop abortions, Danielle.
No, just stop these safe kids, ones.
Yeah, no, exactly. Kids are going to die and moms are going to die. And then when the kids are born, we're not going to help them out at all. You are literally effed at birth in America. And then if you're lucky enough to survive childbirth, if you're lucky enough to survive to the age of, 5, then you can go to school. And in school, Republicans are more comfortable with their kids getting COVID or shot at than a book by a black author. So what we tell kids in America is, listen, kid, try your best not to be born. Okay. If you're born, you're shit out of luck. Try to survive. And when you get to school, listen, lace up, stretch, get your fiber, and then learn to run and dodge because you're going to be target practice.